Hello, and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. I'm back, baby! And I'm Gary. And today we're going to review and discuss Chopping Mall, also known as Killbot, which released in 1986 from director Jim Wynorski. This is a Roger Corman production, so it pretty much tells you almost everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
That this director was enamored with Roger Corman, who literally gave him 1 hour of film school, which according to the director was equivalent or better than the entire 3 years he spent studying film, was just learning in an hour from Roger Corman as to what exactly the magic formula is of an 80s exploitation movie.
Yeah.
Lasers, boobs,
Yeah.
and deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Now, this film, as I said, released under the title of Killbots.
Yeah.
And it didn't do very well. Like, the promotional material didn't do very well. Nobody went to the cinemas to see it. A lot of people thought it might have even been like a Transformers knockoff.
Yeah,
so they pulled it from theaters, changed the poster, changed the film title, edited 15 minutes out of the film, and then re-released it. And since then, it's literally become pretty much a cult film.
Yeah, because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those films where you need to kind of check your brain at the door, and then you're going to have a real good time.
Dude, when somebody comes to me and says, hey, can you review a film called Chopping Mall? I'm like, fucking,
yes, mate.
Really, honestly. And, like, I kind of got the premise, you know, like, right at the start, you get the robots. You know, you see this guy rob a jewelry store in this mall, and then he's shocked by this really terribly built looking robot. And it turns out it's an advert. It's a selling point, because this company, who we don't know, like the two people selling these robots at the start, they rarely get any screen time.
What, the couple that are sat in the front?
No. I was about to say, the couple in the front of the audience get more screen time explaining to you why they're there than the two people on the stage selling us the killer robots. Like, I saw the blonde woman for a second. I'm like, oh, I know that. Oh, no, it's not that actress. It's somebody completely different. And then I look at the man and woman in the audience, Mary and Paul Bland, who own a restaurant in this mall and are kind of looking forward to getting one of these robots. And I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
Well, it's actually the director of Death Race 2000.
Yes,
and the two of them are reprising their roles from Eating Raoul, which is a classic film.
I was going to say, I did wiki after watching Chopping Mall, and I was like, oh, see, that sounds cool. And the woman, she played, I believe, Calamity Jane in Death Race 2000. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's cool, but they've got nothing. They don't turn up again.
No, it's just a cameo appearance. It's just like, hey, look, other people from Roger Corman universe.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of actors and actresses in this film that you'll be like, oh, I know that person from that, and that person from that.
Yeah. The protectors are given, you know, the reign of the mall. You got Protector 3 who'll look after the third floor, Protector 2 who'll look after the second floor, and Protector 1 who do the first floor. And it's just, we get the opening credits of just life at the mall, stuff going on.
It's a montage, an 80s montage.
I mean, you've got bikini-clad women just walking around and guys dropping boxes when they see them, and I'm just like, oh man, fuck working in a mall. And then immediately, lightning, you know, we start to get a storm, kind of Johnny 5 short circuit kind of thing, and I'm like, I can see what's going to happen here.
Yeah. And it's not long before we get the first kills of the movie as the robots slowly sneak up behind the control operator, who has a naughty magazine that he keeps like in this giant binder of instructions for how to operate these things.
Is that thing getting closer? Yes! It's well closer than when it was 10 minutes ago. I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. And the fact that he had to turn to be looking at the robot while holding the naughty magazine, I honestly thought the robot had turned off.
Right, it just powered off.
Yeah, powered off, like I won't kill him yet. And then all of a sudden this robot hand comes through and grabs him, and I was just like, oh man, that was so terrible. It was silly death number 1 for me. We have Ferdy, Mike Brennan, and Greg, who all work together in Ferdy's uncle's furniture store. And these are the main teens of the movie. You know, we've also got Kelli Maroney playing Alison, and Barbara Crampton, who plays Susie. Now, Barbara Crampton, I know, you know, from Beyond. She was great in that. You and Jez doing Castle Freak, you know, she was in that. And I honestly thought she was going to steal the show in this.
No.
No. No, she doesn't. She actually plays second fiddle to Alison. She's wanting to set Alison up with Ferdy because both of them are innocent nerds who probably aren't getting laid.
I recognise Alison from Night of the Comet.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that in such a long time. I need to watch it again. But it was... Mike Brennan chews all the fucking way through every one of his scenes.
It was something the actor actually said he wanted to do because it would piss the audience off.
It felt like it was something that he decided that he was just going to do.
It's that shit-eating grin on his face as well. Just like, what a douche.
Mike has a thing for Leslie, who is the rich daughter to Mr. Todd, her dad. And they have a little sequence. Mike sneaks up on Leslie and he's about to get all horny with her, and then they see her at the dad, and the dad's all pissed off, and I'm like, oh, the dad will turn up later on, but no. No, he doesn't. So honestly, like, when you say that he learned a lot of stuff from Roger Corman, was it I need to write characters and then never have them turn up again?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we also get Rick and Linda Stanton turn up in their van, you know, like...
And they're married. They got wedding rings on. I'm like, so are these teens or are they adult teens?
Exactly, because I'm looking at Rick and Linda. It's like, oh yeah, we're buying a store and we're going to the mall, and I'm like, I had to research a lot of this stuff outside of the film because the film doesn't deliver it very well. You know, the film is just trying to deliver a bunch of teens locked in a mall and being attacked by robots, but it's not doing it very well. You know, because
it's just immediately trying to establish who these characters are, and as an audience you kind of just don't care. As an audience, like for me watching it, I'm just like, so who's going to survive and who's going to have the most gruesome death?
Yeah.
Who's going to flash their boobs?
Wow, yeah. And after the first death of the first technician, I was like, oh my god, I really hope the deaths get better, because if that's how you start, I mean, it's even worse when we get Garrett Graham as Lab Technician 2. Garrett, I remember from movies like Child's Play 2, Police Academy, Used Cars with Kurt Russell. You know, he was always in this background character, and I see him as this technician, and he walks in like he has a phone call, which was more funnier than his death.
Hello? What do you mean, who is this? You called me. No, Marty's not here right... Jerk.
But then he picks up the phone, he's like, what? Who? No, he's not here. And he puts it down.
I'm like, so did the robots hide the body?
Yeah.
Where did it go?
What? Like, what? So the robots, now they've killed the technicians, and they're self-aware, sentient, wanting to kill...
Malfunctioning, more
everything.
like.
They set up and they start going around the floors. And one of them comes past the party that's going on in the store. Because it's the 80s. That's what you could do in the 80s. You could literally... No security guards, no security cameras. Just lock your shop and throw a party.
Well, there's 3 janitors. The most iconic of all being played by legendary actor Dick Miller, who's actually also reprising a role from a previous film.
Really?
He is called Walter Paisley.
Right.
And that's the same character he played in a 1950s movie called A Bucket of Blood, in which he was a killer.
Oh.
And then when he says the line that he's going to turn him into dead meat, you're just like, it's Walter Paisley.
Yo, Walter, you having a good time?
Ty, you know Paisley. He loves a challenge.
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. But if I ever find little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
In fairness, I totally missed the Walt Paisley thing, but I half expected them to moan about gremlins in the machines. You know, malfunctioning equipment around this dude, you know. But it was... His death was shit as well, or stupid.
It's hilarious. Come on. I was laughing because the robot, you see it rolling up on these treads, and you see it hit the bucket.
Oh, the bucket slides.
But the bucket slides. But in the next shot, it's... I was like, yeah, you had to cut there because it just wouldn't have been knocked over.
I don't mean to be picky. I really don't mean to be picky. But I mop for a fucking living, and I want to know what the fuck Dick Miller thought he was fucking doing with that floor, because he was just making a bigger mess.
I want to know what the fuck happened to the other janitors that were drinking beer on the job.
Exactly. I was like, are they security guards? Like, are they cleaners? Are they maintenance
They don't need security guards anymore. They got killbots. And you know, they probably do need killbots because this mall has got a pretty bad reputation.
Really?
I mean, just prior to this film happening, Commando occurred in this mall.
Oh, shit. Like, well, he doesn't kill anybody. He beats a lot of fucking people
Exactly.
up. Yeah.
But this mall also featured in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's also the same mall that Martin Short got an injection in the ass in inner space.
Man, I've seen that in ages.
This mall was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2, Bad Eggs.
Nice.
And, you know, I'm just like... So there's vampires, there's commandos, there's mad scientists. I'm like, yeah, they need some killbots.
Didn't they also use it for T2?
Oh yes, Terminator 2.
So it's like foreshadowing that you're gonna have killer robots walking around the fucking mall killing people. But it fires the shock thing at Dick Miller and totally misses.
Well, it hits the water that he's standing in.
Yeah, but that doesn't electrocute him for like a couple of minutes.
Well, it was just waiting, biding its time.
Shit. I knew you bastards were gonna be trouble when I first brought you in here.
So the guys are all having the party in the mall shop, and I just thought it was absolutely brilliant because, like Harry says, you can't have an 80s horror movie without tits. And you got Rick and Linda who decide that they're gonna fuck in a bed, and I was sat there watching this scene. I'm like, have they got more shops, or is this one shop? And then the camera pans, and you got Barbara Crampton and Greg, and they're getting ready to fuck, and I'm like, well, that would just be awkward, wouldn't it? Like your buddies are over there. Like, maybe I missed out on those types of parties. I don't know, but then the camera kind of comes back, and you've got Mike and his girlfriend in bed, and she makes a comment about him trying to go down on her and he doesn't like it, and I'm thinking, is he still chewing?
Of course he is. That's probably why he doesn't like it.
And then the camera comes back to Alison and Ferdy, who, like, well, I'd probably be where Alison and Ferdy are actually, but just not with a girl who's sitting there on a sofa watching a film, and while everybody else is fucking in the background.
They're watching another Roger Corman movie, Attack of the Killer Crabs. I don't know if you noticed earlier in the restaurant sequence. The tacked on posters were all Roger Corman film posters. And you could tell that you could see the fold marks.
Yeah, I saw them, and I was like, that was another sequence. They were in the restaurant. They're like, oh, watch out for that fat dude on the chair. He always likes to cop a feel. And I'm like, why did we need that information? It leads nowhere.
It does. It has an amazing line. Waitress, more butter.
Girls, come on.
Yeah, all right.
Waitress, more butter.
I love the script in this film. It is nonsensical, utter gibberish, nonsense, and it's extremely silly. And it's only when you take a moment and just go, did they say that?
Did they really say that?
Like this line. This is like one of the best pickup lines I've ever seen in the movie.
Yeah.
Where Barbara Crampton gets in a huff because he's like, oh, you smell like pizza.
Oh, yeah, you smell like pepperoni.
I like pepperoni.
And she's like, oh, really? In that case. And just gets her boobs out. And I'm like, nah, it wouldn't have worked.
I haven't tried it, to be honest.
No.
You smell like pepperoni.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Wait a minute.
What?
I like pepperoni.
Oh.
So, the robots still haven't massively attacked the store yet, and we're kind of led to believe that the people in the store are the only people in the whole mall. And Mike is ordered by his girlfriend to go out and get her menthol cigarettes because that's the only type that she likes. And I did kind of like the little weird Halloween nod that they had there where, you know, she kind of flashes her boobs and she's like, hurry back. And I'm like, alright, okay. Okay, movie, I'm getting with you. And then Mike goes out and goes to the cigarette machine and he's there and you're watching the POV of the robot sneak up and he keeps looking behind him. He's looking and he's looking and it's not there and it's not there and then it's there and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Is that the shot where the doors open inwards and the robot comes out? I'm like, how did that robot open the door?
Man, there's a whole hiding bit later I have to really question. But Mike, what did he say to the robot? Like, Klaatu Verata Nick 2? Yeah. And I was like...
Well, it's, you know, the day the Earth stood still. It's how you turned the robot off.
Yeah, you know, and it's also what the words you use to get rid of the Book of the Dead and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get it. But they're just like, what? Why? Because it stuns him. The robot stuns him with a tranq dart because we get told they're armed with electrical tasers. They're armed with sleep darts. They're not going to kill humans, even though it technically looked like they killed the guy at the beginning, and we've watched them kill like 3 people up to this point. And so, like, I was really confused because it stunned him. He fell on the floor, and then it went and grabbed him, and it was only after his girlfriend finds his body, terribly, I have to say, that you realise that his throat has been ripped open.
It was pretty bloodless. I mean,
yeah, it was bloodless until but she comes out. Like, she comes out of the store, and I love the camera just following her ass. I was like, wow, that's a really good shot. I like that shot. But it's the fact that she looks down that dark corridor, and you can see Mike, like, there.
His legs are propped out underneath the machine. I was like, wait a minute. He was laid down flat when the robot left him. Now he's sat upright.
But she's like, Mike, when I find you, bastard. I'm like, he's right there. He's fucking right there. And then she trips over his body like, oh my God, Mike, oh, he's bleeding. And the robot comes along, you know, chasing her. Now, this is where we realize that the robots are armed with lasers.
Awesome.
We didn't know this before. The film made no intention of telling us that there was going to be some kind of laser activity. And it starts chasing her down, shooting. And it's when she turns and screams and everybody's watching. And
well, I mean, she gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
She gets shot in the ass.
Yeah.
And the lasers do nothing to her, really. They don't even slow her down.
They don't even slow her down.
Until she stops.
And then it gets her in a headshot.
That has got to be one of the best head explosions in a movie. It's fantastic. You know what? Let's watch that again in slow motion, please. Awesome.
It's a great special effect. It's stupid, but it's a great special effect. Because like we said, she's being chased, shot 4 times, and her fucking head explodes like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, at normal speed, I couldn't even notice the edit. Like, the cut. It was almost seamless. Which is what, just, awesome.
You have to really slow it down to realise that they completely replace her right at the last second. And I'm like, wow, why can't your kills be more like that? Because that seemed like you really paid attention to it. The machines smash their way into the store to chase the guys and the girls, and the guys decide that they're going to split up. You know, they're going to go one way and hold the doors to stop the robots, and the girls should go up into the air vents and climb through the air vents to get to the car park. And the girls in the air vents start to complain that it's getting really hot. And they realise that it must be all in tune with the giant robot computer Skynet in the attic of the shopping mall. And it's raising the temperature. And this is where I started to realise that Barbara Crampton was the weak character of this group. It's like, oh my God, Greg needs me! I have to go find him! We've just watched Greg arm the fuck up in a gun store.
Let's go send those fuckers a Rambogram.
Oh shit, it's gonna go down. It's useless against these robots.
You see them all take cover and firing at these robots. I mean, they're as useless as the robots.
No, yeah.
Because like, the robots can't aim for shit.
No, they can't. I'm like, well, you just... like Rick is being the leader, and I'm like, you're definitely gonna die at some point, dude, because you and your missus, or I don't think I'm gonna make it. And the girls climb out the air vent, and they all start arming up as well. They start getting petrol canisters and sticking rags in the top, and Susie's just like, oh my god, I need to find Greg. And they blow up. They blow up one of the robots. They
throw the propane tank at it, shoot it.
Yeah.
And, as an audience, you're like, oh, they've actually defeated it. Like, I don't even, like, shopping malls, like, rarely have M16 machine guns for sale.
American ones.
Shopping malls, not even American ones.
Oh, right.
Shopping malls do not have gasoline in the gas tanks for sale. It's just like, your brain just has to make these illogical jumps to just go, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Like, when you put a rag, even if there's gasoline in there, it's not going to explode like a bottle and spread. It's just like, how is this working? Like, shooting the propane tank will not cause it to explode like it does.
Susie's death was so fucking shit. Like, we've just come off the back of a really good fucking headshot. And Barbara Crampton's character, they're being chased by this robot. And they scream so loud that the guys can hear them now. So they all come after. And it's while they're running away that you realise that Protector 1 that they thought they defeated has only been knocked on its side.
You get that awful shot of this. You can see that it's just ropey plastic.
Yeah.
It's trying to prod itself, push itself back upright.
What was the point of the line? What's that? It's robot blood.
What's that? Robot blood.
Okay, fine. I'm going with it. They fucking chase after. They run over to the other side of the mall, and Susie falls over. And Linda and Allison are in cover trying to avoid the lasers. And they're screaming to her, come with us. And she's like, help me. And it's so long. It's so long. I'm like, and the robots are terrible shots. I'm like, you could just get up and pull her, or she could get up and run. But she lies there, and I'm thinking, oh, she's going to get run over.
Right.
She's going to get totally run over and crushed by the treads because we've been watching them drive around. There's got to be... No.
I'm assuming the robot missed her by accident and shot the gas.
Really?
Because it's such a terrible shot.
I thought he personally purposely aimed for it just to burn her.
They can't aim for shit. I mean, unless the script wants them to or needs them to, I guess.
Know. But they shoot the thing, and you're watching Allison and Linda's face, so you don't see the explosion, and you hear the scream, and they're like, oh my god, it's terrible to watch. And then you turn back, and you're watching this.
You're seeing her on fire, and the gas can that was shot and exploded is now intact on the side.
Yeah.
I was like, how did that happen?
Susie's just...
I need to stop thinking about the continuity, because
it
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I thought it was an okay stunt, though. I mean, I don't think it was Barbara Crampton that was crawling around on fire.
No.
Whoever did the stunt, it was fine.
Yeah, but it's just the way that the film kind of had it go to us. I was like, oh, it's going to be a big death. And like I said, after the headshot...
Yeah, you were hoping that things would escalate, but they don't.
The deaths get worse. And Rick has this great plan. Rick... Greg and Ferdy have rigged one of the elevators with gas canisters and the door to try to trap one of the robots in. And after Susie dies, they lure one of the robots into the elevator and he jumps off. And nobody can hit anything except Allison, who takes the gun off of Ferdy, puts her foot on a bar and almost slipped, which I thought was funny. Trying to look all hard, and she shoots one shot and blows up the canisters, which drops the elevator and destroys the robot.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, you're such a good shot. And she's like, my dad was a Marine. That's it. They never give her a gun again.
No.
Like, Ferdy is still walking around with his gun. I'm like, take the gun off of him. He's terrible. Okay?
There's that terrible shot later on where he opens the door and it's just a hand with a gun coming in the door. I'm like, oh no. So awful.
What really made me laugh was the actor that played Ferdy. I was looking up on him, and it turns out that he's like a background character for Karate Kid.
Yeah. Jimmy, he was called in Karate Kid.
That's it.
He actually turned up in the Cobra Kai series as well, though.
Oh yeah. But, not enough to make you go, hey, it's that dude from fucking Chopping Mall!
Are you kidding?
He's the guy who gets thrown off the balcony at this point.
Oh, that's Greg. And it's so fucking stupid! Because they're all sat in the bar and he's whinging at the girls about why they didn't save Susie. And the girls are like, look, she wanted to save you. And I'm thinking, yeah, please tell him that his girlfriend was a complete waste of space and almost got you all killed. And they come up with a great idea of heading to the top of the mall to destroy the robot. If they can do that, destroy the giant computer brain controlling the robots. If they can do that, they can, you know, save the day. Because they've been locked in as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
The mall has security locked doors. So they can't leave until morning anyway. What the fucking point is that? It's so stupid because they all run out and they start going. And Greg is running ahead of them all. And everybody's like, slow down, Greg. He's going to get us all killed. And he runs up the stairs. Do you know what it reminded me of, this bit? It reminded me of those moments in Left 4 Dead 2 when you're running through the mall and somebody gets ahead and they get pulled over the fucking balcony. And you realise it's fucked everything. You know, because he runs up there and turns around and goes, hey! And a robot pushes him. Oh no, it grabs his arm.
Yeah.
And just throws him over the balcony.
And it was pretty cool, like the free falling. I was like, that was good. Yeah. And then we don't see the landing; we just see the aftermath of the landing.
Yeah, of him just lying there.
Okay, like I would have preferred partially to have seen a mannequin of some kind just smash into the ground, but it's fine. Like it's just disappointing after that head explosion.
Yeah.
Just like, come on, when's the next good one?
Yeah, like I don't know, like did they run out of budget or something?
Yeah.
They So now we're left with Alison, Ferdy, Rick, and Linda. And by this point, I'm like, well, I know the virgins are going to make it because it's an 80s movie and you guys have already had sex. So Rick and Linda, they're all trapped in this shop and the robots are trying to get their way in. And it was so stupid. It was just like, we need to keep going. No, we need to stop. No, we can't stop. Well, I need to stop because I've never really been chased around a shopping mall by killer robots. So let's stop.
Yeah, the film does take a massive kind of drop in its pace here. And considering the film is barely an hour and 20 minutes, you really feel that stop. Because the film has been like an adrenaline rush since the robot started killing people right up to this point.
Yeah.
And she sat there with like a calculator of some kind. And she's like, well, my estimate's like...
we need to pay this off. And, you know, and like their friends have just died and they're being attacked by killer robots and none of their plans are working. And Alison comes up with this great plan that maybe we should use mannequins as targets so then we can escape.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah, except none of the guns cause any damage to the robots. Well, I mean, it partially blinds one a lucky shot.
Yeah.
You know, Ferdy still has his gun. Give it to fucking Alison, because Alison's a better shot, but... They all come out, the robots start firing the lasers at the mannequins, and Linda dies so stupidly.
She just stands there screaming.
Yeah.
And then she's dead.
And I honestly thought that Rick was going to give a better death. But no, his is even more stupid.
He gets into like the little more buggy thing, rides 2 meters into the robot, which causes an electrocution, which kills them both. Oh. He could have jumped off.
He could have.
You get that wide shot and you can see the mannequin laying there, which is supposed to be him, whilst this fireball is going off next to him. And I'm just like, oh no, this is awful. I love it.
So there's one robot left, and Ferdy and Alison are deciding that they obviously need to find an escape route. So they both split up to opposite ends of the mall. And she screams because she gets attacked by the robot.
Yeah.
And she screams so loud that Ferdy can hear her from where the fuck he is and comes racing back to rescue her.
And I'm just like, how long has this robot had her pinned in the corner?
Oh, God.
It hasn't attacked her.
No.
It hasn't shot her with a laser.
No.
It's just held her there. It's like, what's going on?
Could it be malfunctioning from something that we were supposed...
Well, it's broadcasting that it is malfunctioning,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, but I'd like... Oh, I was just... Towards the end of this movie, I was just like, just fucking end it, because nothing... There was no saving grace. Like, the moment Ferdy turns and helps her, like, he throws the fire extinguisher at the robot, and the robot catches it and throws it back and hits him in the chest and knocks him to the floor, which, to any experienced film watcher, you know is not going to kill him.
Straight away. I was like, even with the blood pool behind his head, that was like, okay, maybe there's a 1% chance he did actually die there, because some of these deaths have been getting like really awful.
I kind of really hoped he had, just so that Alison could walk away like the lone person, but...
Well, she's definitely got the Sarah Connor syndrome going on now. It's the lone survivor running away, hobbling away from this robot. You know, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I kept laughing over and over again that she's got like this pink sweater on, and she's got a bandage around her arm over the sweater.
She's got a shiny arm. Like, I'm okay. Well, you don't need a bandage yet.
But she ends up hiding in the pet store. I think it was Roger's pet store.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a callback to Roger Corman's The Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
It was just like you had Peckinpah's gun store.
Yeah, I did like that one for the Wild Bunch. And I was like, that's cool. But she goes into the fucking pet store and just climbed onto that little shelf.
Well, she hides into the bottom shelf and she holds some bag of food or something in front of her, and the robot can't see her, and it knocks over the spider cage and the snake cage.
For me, I thought he intentionally did that because he couldn't look down.
Right.
It's like, if she's down there, I'm going to use all this shit to fuck her up.
And you get the other shot of, I'm guessing, some mannequin legs as the snake's going into her trousers or whatever. Yeah. And then you got the shot of the spiders on her arms. I was like, okay, that's a little bit freaky. Like, as an actor, I'd be uncomfortable. But then you see in the next shot when she gets up how fake the spiders are that fall off her. At the same time, I wonder if anybody else noticed the box that was on the right-hand side of the frame.
Oh, is that the one that had cock written on it? I couldn't take my eyes off. It said Cockstar.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
what's a cock starter?
I was just like, this sign is more interesting than this whole fucking sequence.
Yeah, I was too busy looking at the puppies in the background.
So Alison sneaks out of the pet store because the robot buggers off. And as it's about to find her, she's out in one of the walkways and jumps over the barrier and holds on as best as she can, which you can completely tell that she could balance herself a lot better.
Well, she actually did like 95% of all of her own stunts in the film as well.
Yeah, kind of looked it. Yeah. Because when she falls and lands on this makeshift tent thing underneath her, you know, you're supposed to be given the impression that it's hurt her leg.
Yeah.
And she crawls like to the next fight scene.
Crawls into the paint shop, isn't it?
Yeah, but like even her crawling, I'm like, you haven't got a hurt leg, and at most, if you've twisted your ankle, you could at least hop or hobble. But she's kind of like shittingly commando crawling, like it hurts, and then she gets up and she's in the paint store and she just. Like, how the fuck does this work, dude? I, could not work out how this fucking works. So I understand that throwing the paint thinner on the floor makes it flammable. Totally get that bit. But just emptying tins of paint? Like, was paint flammable back in the 80s?
Probably.
I'm just going to throw different colours of paint. Like,
it was in the budget. They were like, well, yeah.
Like, it made sense for when the robot came in. That it
got stuck.
It got stuck and it couldn't. But there's like this whole... Like, the robot's making its way there, and you're like, oh my god, tension building. But she's got enough time to just keep throwing paint down, and then she sneaks...
it takes me like 20 minutes to get one of those paint tins open. She even had a screwdriver.
Yeah!
She's like, pop!
And she kind of... She sneaks out, and luckily she picked up that flare.
Yeah, well, we knew it was going to come in handy.
Oh, yeah, like, stick anything down your bra during a movie, and it's bound to come out at some point, and... She sneaks outside and she delivers the "Have a nice day" line to the robot and throws the flare and blows up the fucking store.
I mean, that was a pretty fucking badass explosion.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Like, one of the things that the owner of the mall said to the crew was just like, whatever you do, just make sure that it's operational. The mall is fully functioning for the customers when we open at 9 o'clock the next day. And I was looking at all that destruction. I was just like, oh.
Somebody got cleaned up.
Right.
Yeah, Dick Miller mopping up, man. Yeah. Take all night. And when she's walking away, Ferdy turns up, and I'm like, fuck, I hope he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Alison. Yay,
we made it.
Yay. I was very surprised that the tall man was supposed to be in this movie at one point. He was supposed to be a scientist, but I like his scene must have been cut.
There was, quite a few actors and actresses that were involved in the film and then just left the project because they were like, oh, I don't like the nudity, oh, I don't like the script, or other things going on.
I was going to say, I mean, some of the shit that Angus Scrimm has done in his time, I can't see him having a problem with that. But I think, when I saw him in the credits when I was researching the film, I'm like, he should have been at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, there was 15 minutes cut from the film, and the Blu-ray transfer that we've now got is actually taken from the VHS master after it was the Killbots was removed from it, and because of some legal complications they can't even take that footage and restore it for a special feature because another film company now owns the property of Killbots of Chopping Mall. And that's been a few years now, and that's because that film company had the idea of remaking it or making a sequel of it. And it's been maybe 4 years now, or 5 years even, since they had the rights, and nothing has come of it. But maybe one day we will see Killbots in its full unedited glory.
Chopping Mall 2. Fuck no.
Well, the film does have an after credits kind of stinger where one of the Killbots comes up to the screen and says the same lines again.
I have to admit, I did not wait for that sequence.
Man, when that music kicked in and it was doing like the Predators thing, we saw the cast members' faces coming up.
That was it. I had to turn off.
I was sat there like, the music.
I had to turn off because I was just like, man, I already know who these characters are, and I just fucking stupid.
Well, Ian, what are your favourite scenes from the film?
If I'm going to be honest, I really liked the boobs. And I liked the butt sequence as she was walking down. You know, I'm a simple man. You know, simple things in life. The kills were stupid. Like, the killing of the technicians. I expected more. I mean, the best one is the headshot. Like, you could really tell that they took the time to make sure that, you know, it worked. You know, with everything else. But every other death kind of overshadows and ruins that for me. Like Dick Miller's. Yeah, I like Dick Miller. But his character moment, like, why? Is it just a case of the robots need to kill somebody else? Well, they don't even do it very... Like, I totally understood it if it jammed him in the stomach and he got electrocuted while standing in the water.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense, but the robot, like, intentionally missed, you know?
Well, that's why it kicked the bucket over, you know? It wanted to make the water.
Oh, we know it didn't kick the bucket, dude. It moved in. Somebody else threw the fucking water. It's like the fucking bit where Susie died. Like, there's a moment where one of the protectors, I don't know which one it is, 1, 2, or 3. I think it's 3.
Well, they've all got different coloured lasers, so...
Yeah, but this one, like, stops and reverses in between two shops and turns itself off. Like, it goes into stealth mode. And then it just activates and comes out. Like, who's it chasing? Because all of a sudden it's chasing everybody. And I'm like, because... Really?
There is no consistency.
No.
It didn't really bother me that much.
Susie's death... Susie's death was stupid. Mike's death was stupid. Greg's death was stupid. Rick's death was stupid. Linda's death was stupid. I really hoped Fergie would die, but it didn't. It was stupid. Yeah, like, they weren't bad. They were stupid. So
yeah. I mean, I agree that the highlight of the film is that glorious head explosion. It was fantastic. Like, I'd rewound it and watched that sequence again. I was like, that's amazing.
I did as well. Like, did I just see that? That was so good.
I love Dick Miller. Yeah, and watching him in his small cameo sequence, I was like, that's great. Like, he's a legend. Yeah. So just the fact that he was in the movie just elevated it tenfold for me.
Yeah, it did. I do have to pick up one thing, though. I don't know, like, if you can explain this to me, right? Alison, just as she got to the paint store, right? Yeah. She can't get in, it's locked. So she needs to smash the window.
So she smashes the top one, then the bottom one.
But she pulls her jumper up over her
that's
head.
The other window.
And then runs at the window and smashes into it. I'm like, who breaks a window like that?
Only if you know it's sugar glass, you know? Because if that was real glass, it would have just been really embarrassing.
I mean, wrap it around your hand and fucking punch it.
I was thinking of the other glass where she smashes the top part, then smashes the bottom part, just crawls underneath the bottom part. I was like, why did you smash the top part? Was that so the robot could come through easier later? Yeah, it's stupid. But I kind of like stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
As you said, there's lots of flesh in the film to be appreciated. And that's something that this director has gone on to appreciate in his long and illustrious career in B-movie exploitation filmmaking.
Oh yeah, the list is like extraordinary.
I'm a big fan of giant monster movies.
Yeah.
And so every so often I will watch Piranaconda. And then sometimes I want to watch Cobra Gator.
I gotta agree with you, friend. I mean, The Hills Have Thighs looks really interesting. The Witches of Brestwick, I'm like, wow, I like The Witches of Eastwick, so this one must be.
Well, I still need to see the Bear Wench Project.
Oh man, that's like
there's a trilogy.
There's a fucking series of those movies. It's like yeah.
With this director, you just need some beer and you're gonna have a good time. His movies and some beer. It's a perfect mix.
Yeah. For me, I almost didn't recommend this movie because it was dragging in places. The deaths were terrible, and it just there was just nothing in the movie that made me go, oh, this is something that people need to watch. But then when I really thought about it and I put it in context with a lot of the fucking shit that we've watched in our time, I was like, this film ticks all of the boxes of an 80s movie. It's got a stupid plot. It's got stupid acting. It's got stupid scenarios and stupid special effects. And like you said, like at the end of the day, if you pick up a movie called Chopping Mall, it's not going to be Oscar winning. And if you've never heard of it, then it definitely doesn't reach the highs of certain 80s movies. But that doesn't necessarily make it fucking terrible. You kind of do need to watch it to go, wow, Iain, that was fucking terrible. And I go, yeah, but at least you've watched it now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This film isn't great. In fact, it's pretty awful in places. But what it is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm definitely going to be recommending Chopping Mall. It's highly entertaining horror cheese fest from the 80s, Yes, this movie is a textbook example of 80s exploitation fare.
Yeah.
But it does it really well. With ridiculous dialogue, corny characters, naked bodies, orgies, and explosions. The casting is really good because there's so many recognizable faces. And yeah, I agree, the acting ranges from terrible to hilarious. And it really, for me, just added to the charm that this film encapsulates. The effects are flimsy. The robots look cheap and they are not convincing at all.
They're not scary.
But when heads explode, you'll be riveted to your seat till the end. I guarantee it. Unfortunately, none of the other deaths do compare to that one.
Yeah.
This film has a great pace, running at only really 73 minutes, and it's only a few minutes of downtime once the killings start. If you like killer robots, laser blasting mole rats, you're going to have a good time watching this. And the only thing missing from this film is more butter.
It's more butter.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.